All right, guys, I want to welcome you all to the first episode of the Bass Prediction Center. And what we're going to be doing every week is we're going to be featuring the entire country. We're going to look at the weather and how that's going to affect your bass fishing plans for the rest of the week and the weekend. And we're going to start off with our map every week right here. And the first thing I want you to draw your eye to is the ice line right here in the middle. And pretty much what this is going to show us is everything north of this ice line is frozen. Everything south of it, you're fishing. So obviously, if you ice fish, you can fish up in the north, but I do not. So I don't care what's going on up here. Just kidding. But I live there in Nebraska, and we are froze up, except for maybe some rivers or some really big lakes, maybe the Great Lakes you could get out on. But pretty rough conditions up there. South of there, Oklahoma, Arkansas, you guys are in a winter pattern. Grand Lake, Lake of the Ozarks, your Oklahoma lakes, maybe northern Texas. And then your northern California areas are also definitely probably in a winter pattern there, in North Carolina, Tennessee, still in a winter pattern, especially with the weather that's going to be coming up this week, which we will talk about. Now, the best area right now in the country where I'd want to be is right there in the pre-spawn. You're in your Alabama, Georgia, Central Texas, anywhere in the Southwest, Southern California. Guys, right now is the best time to get out there and be throwing those big baits. You're going to catch the biggest bass of your life right now. Super excited for y'all. This is going to be moving north as we go through the spring, but right now, this is where the best time to fish is. And if you look even further south, southern Texas and Florida, you guys are spawning right now. Definitely with what we're going to be talking about, you're going to see there's definitely more fish moving up on beds, and should be a really fun time for you guys right now. So stick around for the rest of the video. We're going to be featuring a giant bass that was caught this week in Texas, and we are going to be talking about a very special lake to my heart for our featured lake of the week. So stick around for the rest of the video so you can see what it's all about. All right, guys, looking at our full moon calendar, as you can see right here on the 12th, tomorrow is our full moon. So throughout the rest of the week and the weekend, Florida, South Texas, bass are definitely going to be moving up on beds. Those big females right now, the biggest females of the lake are going to move up first. So I know there's a tournament going on, Bass Pro Tour down at Harris Chain this week, and they're definitely be catching some giants on beds this week. Super excited to watch that one. I wonder who's going to win. I got to get my fantasy fishing lined up, but super excited for anybody in the spawn zone. This also could kick up a bite for pre-spawn areas, so keep an eye on the moon phase, and we'll hopefully see some giants. Looking at temperatures for the week, the last couple weeks, most of the areas here have been warmer than normal, and that's really kicked off all this pre-spawn bite in the south. But we are going to see some changes as we move through the week. As you can see, there's going to be a big, huge cold blast that's going to come through here later this week, all through the Great Plains, the Midwest, and that is going to really shut things down at Oklahoma and North Texas. But you're going to stay warm down here in the south. Florida is going to be great. The weather this weekend for the BPT is going to be awesome. And then that cold blast is kind of going to fizzle out, and then we are going to see another one on Sunday. It's not terribly cold, but just colder than average. And then the southeast actually is going to look really nice for Sunday. So if you're going to get out and fish, Sunday's probably the day. If you're in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and then the north, yeah, it's going to be looking cold. So Oklahoma, Kansas, probably going to be cold this weekend, but if you can get out, hell, you're fishing. So better than nothing, right, guys? All right, guys, as for precipitation, we are going to see some winter storms moving through. We're seeing one right now, actually, along that Tennessee-Kentucky line. There's seeing some heavy snow and some major rainstorms south of there. And as we go through, this one's going to head out east, and then we are going to see another one ramp up right here in the Great Plains. You're going to see a bunch of snow, 4 to 6 inches, maybe more, in northern Kansas, southern Nebraska, and then all along the southeast, it is going to be raining. Tennessee, you're going to be seeing a ton of rain this week, and we will look at totals here in a bit, but it's going to be a wet one for you guys. Florida, the weather's looking great. Most of Texas, it's not too bad. We might see some severe thunderstorms along this line, so you're going to want to watch out if you are out on the lake. And that's going to move and head east, and that band is actually going to expand. There are going to be some thunderstorms along here, but nothing too crazy, no big tornadoes or anything like that. And then as we move towards the weekend, we're going to see yet another winter storm pick up. And if you're along that ice line, hopefully all the snow stays north of there. But for the rest of you guys that are able to fish, once again, it is going to be raining probably this weekend. This is a few days out, so it could change, but it's looking pretty wet going into the weekend. So just keep an eye on things as you go towards the weekend, and hopefully you get a chance to fish before or after the rain. Hopefully before, because you know how good that can be. All right, looking a little more regional here. We're looking at the southeast, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Temperatures this week should be pretty decent for fishing. especially in Florida. Obviously, you're getting up into the 80s, which is great. South Georgia should be nice. Alabama. You might see a little bit of a cold snap up here in Tennessee. Nights are going to be still pretty cold. I mean, our ice line's right north of there, so still going to be chilly at night. But your daytime temps shouldn't be too bad. If you can avoid the rain, you should be able to get out. The Sunday temps look actually pretty decent in this whole region. So if you guys can get out, avoid the rain, you could have some really nice fishing in this whole region. All right, looking here at total precipitation accumulation over the next week, all the way in through the weekend, and this is where it's going to get a little hairy. We're looking at through Sunday. You're looking at some areas with up to 6 inches of rain all through this band. Tennessee going to be wet. Western North Carolina, northern Mississippi, Arkansas, northern Louisiana. Going to have a lot of really wet weather. You're going to be dealing with muddy conditions. You're going to want to get those lipless crankbaits, those big spinner baits out because it's probably going to be muddy and you're going to have some flowing water, which can actually pick up the bite. But with it being still pretty cold up here, it's going to be pretty rough. Down south here into Florida actually looks pretty decent. The weather should be great. A little bit of rain, maybe some cloud cover should actually fire up the bite, make the spawn really good. Might make the sight fishing a little bit difficult if it is cloudy, but ultimately the fishing should be excellent for the Harris Chain event from the BPT. So if you're in East Texas, you're going to get some rain, but you should be good. But the rest of you down all through here, you should be having some really nice fishing. All right, a quick look at the Southwest California. Obviously, your guys' temperatures don't change a ton, so it looks really good. Definitely should be pre-spawn all through here, and then this northern area is obviously cold mountains. But LA, San Diego area, you guys should be definitely doing some bass fishing this weekend. Clear Lake, great time to get out right now and catch some giants. Let's look at precipitation totals. I believe there is going to be some rain coming through. Yeah, there's going to be towards Friday. Oh yeah, it's going to be definitely wet all through here, but you guys are used to a little bit of rain this time of year. Could actually help your bite out. So it is going to rain. Keep your eye on things, but it shouldn't be too bad for you guys to be able to at least get out and catch a few fish. All right, finally looking here right at Texas and Oklahoma, and this is where our featured lake of the week is going to be. But as we showed you before, there is going to be some rain in eastern Texas and southeast Texas. Houston area shouldn't be too bad, and then northern Texas, I know it's pretty much a desert out there, but if you do have any bass in your area, you should be able to get out and fish. Oklahoma, Grand Lake, Ozark area, you are going to get some rain, but you should be able to get out and fish. Shouldn't be too bad. As far as temperatures go, it is going to be chilly up in Oklahoma. There's going to be that cold blast coming through. So if you can get out there with your forward-facing cylinder in the deep water, you guys should be able to catch a few fish, but make sure you bundle up. Texas should be actually pretty nice, 60s and 70s every day. So our featured lake of the week is right in here, and we're going to take a look at that right now. And that is Lake Fork. Guys, I cut my teeth bass fishing on this. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Nebraska. But I did get my first bass boat while I lived on Lake Fork, and I learned to bass fish down here. And if you know anything about it, it is tough fishing. And learned a lot while I was down here, brought it back to Nebraska, and it's actually harder here, so if you can believe that. But honestly, right now, guys, Lake Fork, I would be looking at these north-facing coves. Total pre-spawn mode. Little Caney Creek here is my number one favorite cove. And I would be just looking in the standing timber at the mouth of these coves, and I would be throwing a jerk bait. This is a pretty bad image. You can't really see the trees, but this lake is chock full of trees. And get around some of them right where it leads back into a spawning pocket, and you'll definitely catch some fish. This is a great little cove right here. Be spawning fish all back through here come, another month or two, all back through here. This cove is obviously so well known. Giants caught out of here, and there's trees all on this point, all back in here. Throw that jerk bait, and if not, you don't like throwing a jerk bait, get that lipless crankbait and just cast it around. There's bass staging all over in here, and there's a nice creek bottom that goes all through here. So if you guys want to catch the biggest bass of your life, head down to Lake Fork right now. Get you a lipless crankbait, get you a jerk bait tied on, and you will definitely catch some giants. If you're looking to go on a guide trip out here right now, talk to Hut Reeves on Facebook, or you're going to want to talk to Billy Lawson, Your Lake Fork Guide on YouTube. Billy also has a YouTube channel where he talks about Lake Fork all the time. So if you guys are heading down there, you can get some really great information that will help you, point you in the right direction to get some giant bass. So head down to Lake Fork. Now is the time to get them, boys. All right, guys, and our featured bait of the week is going to be the 6th Sense Provoke 106X right here. One of the best jerk baits on the market. You know how sharp and beautiful the paint, and you know how sharp the hooks are and how beautiful the paint jobs are. So this bluegill one right here, you cannot go wrong. Every lake we fish has bluegill in it, but there's tons of beautiful bait fish colors. This is on Omnia Fishing right here. They have all these nice colors. Realistically, depending on the cloud cover, the wind, any of these baits could catch them down there right now. So guys, get on Omnia, get yourself a 6 cents Provoke, and just go toss it around. You could fish all day with it, and you're going to catch some absolute giants. All right, guys, I wanted to point out this big bass that was caught down in Texas this week. This was a 14.05 pound largemouth that was caught on a bed in South Texas near Houston and Ladybird Lake. This is actually going to be the new water body record, it looks like. And this guy actually caught this from the shore. He's a guitar player, if I remember reading that correctly. And he saw this bass on a bed, went out there one day, couldn't catch her, and then caught her the next day. Ended up being a new lake record and a ShareALunker, which, if you guys know about Texas, they have the ShareALunker program. If you catch a bass over 13 pounds, you can turn it in. They breed those fish and they put the eggs back in the lake, which is making some absolute giants in Texas. They may have a future world record on their hands down there if they can find the right lake to put them in. Nebraska, here's to looking at you. Let's get some big bass going. Might not get a 14 pounder, but if we can get some 10 pounders going, that'd be outstanding. So congratulations to this guy catching this giant bass. For those of you in that area, get down there right now. It's time to bed fish, time to catch some giants. Guys, time for a final recap. We got our map here once again, and I just want to say thanks for watching, first of all, and comment below with your favorite lake, and we will feature it in a future episode. Also, if you catch a giant like that guy did, anything over 10 pounds, we will feature it right here on the channel. But just a recap, we do have everything north of the ice line is frozen, and we will continue to freeze our butts off. But right south of that, we're in a winter pattern. You guys can catch some giants down there right now. Northern California, all the way through, straight across east, across the country to North Carolina. You're going to be out there with your forward-facing sonar, catching bass while I'm sitting on the ice. And then right here, pre-spawn fishing, guys. Get out there right now. Now's the time to be on the water as much as you can. Tell the wife it's time to be on the water so you can get out there and catch the biggest bass of your life. And then everybody down in Florida and South Texas, you're going to be spawn fishing, which is awesome. The top 3 baits of the week this week, number 1 is going to be that jerkbait, that Provoke 106X. That's the number 1 bait I'd be throwing almost in every region. You could catch bass on it right now. Lipless crankbait, especially in that region that was full of rain. It's going to be muddy. They're going to be moving water. You can't go wrong with a lipless crankbait, either yo-yoing it off the bottom, throwing it in grass, just covering water with that thing. It's loud. It has rattles. You can catch some giants on it. And number 3 is going to be a big glide bait. Lock that in your hand all day long in the winter and pre-spawn areas. Go out there and you might only catch 1 or 2 fish, but they're going to be the right ones. Go out there and catch your new PB, guys, on a glide bait. It's going to be the best time of the year to do that. And make sure you do drop a comment below if you guys want your lake featured or your fish featured on the channel in the next few coming episodes. All right, guys, if you want to stay ahead of the bite, you're going to want to catch this video every week. We're going to be showing you the weather patterns, how it's going to be affecting bass fishing in your area. Don't be looking at my waypoints on Google Maps. And then also, thanks for watching. Subscribe, click the bell so you can follow along. And then, as you can see right next to the video here, I have my TikTok. I do a lot of fishing content on TikTok. Got the YouTube channel linked and my Instagram, and we'll be posting weekly on there so you guys can stay ahead of the bite and stay ahead of the fish. So at least you have a chance out there to catch your new personal best. Guys, thanks for watching.